Welcome everybody, especially welcome Bindaji. It's morning where I am and I woke up just happy and looking forward to these regular classes. It's a beautiful thing to have them in this regular way that we can count on. So thank you everyone for being here for our 40th class. 40 could be considered a lucky number in a certain way. And what to say? The replays for this class are here and also on YouTube at Advaita Retold with some other classes as well that I would encourage people to make use of. If someone wants something shorter that's really beautiful, and if you missed the Nasadiya Sukta classes here on Clubhouse, they're also on YouTube, and those are beautiful classes on a sort of mysticism aspect of Advaita, the Nasadiya Sukta. So thank you, Bindo, for being with us. As usual, we'll close the hand raising and chat so we can put all of our attention on what you're sharing with us, and then we'll open for Q&A. And just while you're listening, I really encourage people to think about what they feel they could get deeper benefit and clarity on from Bindaji afterwards in Q&A, if you'd wish. No pressure, but it's such an opportunity. And like all the opportunities we have in this life, it passes by and we don't want to miss something that could be very important to us. So with that, and the reminder that we always have classes here Wednesday and Friday at 8:30 p.m. IST, and an open Q&A for Advaita on Sunday at the same time. Again, thank you for being with us, Bindaji, and turn the time over to you.
Thank you, Atmisha. Thank you, Prashad. And thank you, everyone. Let me, without wasting time, get on to today's class, which is a continuation of the Wednesday's class. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrabhyo Vamsharashibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Garunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loga Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Guru Ratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. The Shanti Mantram for the second chapter of Taittareeya Upanishad. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadidamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. In the last class on the Wednesday, we saw that where Shankaracharya is taking us in the knowledge where we should be in a absolute clarity about the truth and the truth what we are. There is no difference between the truth and what we are as truth. This ananyatva, or there is nothing separate from it. So anyasya cha avidya krite vidyayaha avastutva darshana upapattihi. Avidya kritatve. Due to the ignorance or non-apprehension, whatever is being experienced as otherness, including for us, we all have otherness in our waking and dream. This otherness, what we are facing as experiences of waking and waking world, the waker, the waking world, and the experiences of the waking world, same is the dreamer, the dream world, and the dream experiences. The otherness is felt in these two experiences of ours. And this otherness, anyasya, avidya kritatve, Due to the misapprehension, we are now creating the otherness. That is why it is mentioned as avidya kratatve. Just as non-apprehension of the rope resulted in the snake as a projection or an appearance, that is due to the avidya of the rope or the non-apprehension of the rope, which resulted in the otherness of the rope as a snake. Same is the case when we are not knowing the reality, the truth, satyam. Please understand the word satyam, because in the beginning of the Upanishad itself, it was mentioned that Brahma vidapnodi param satyat jnanam anandam Brahma. So the definition for Brahman was given as satyam, jnanam and anandam. So the word satyam is the one which is to be kept in mind. And what was the definition given at that time? Yad na vyabhijarati. That which never undergoes any modification or a change is the only one which is called the truth. Everything else, irrespective whether they are giving rise to experience or not, if it is undergoing change or modification or appearance and non-appearance or really being there, not being there, all imaginations or feelings and thoughts, emotions, everything put together, if it is having any change, it cannot be considered as truth. So, the Satyam which is being referred is the reason why we feel the waking is real, the dream is real while the dreaming is going on, but the dreaming is unreal when the waking is analyzing the dream. But in the waking, we are unable to do the analysis of the waking similar to the dream in the dreamer cannot be done. But standing away from the dream, we are able to negate the dream. But staying in waking, going to dream, we don't have the waking. So we cannot negate the waking in the dream. Nor the waking or the dream is available for us in our deep sleep. So, if it is not available, we are not able to negate it. While dream is available as a memory in the waking, so we are able to negate it. Then people can say that deep sleep is also available as a memory that I slept well in the waking. So that can also be negated. No, it cannot be negated. Why? Simple, because there is no experience which you can negate. Can you call that the deep sleep was an experience? We cannot. It is a state of experiencelessness because there is nothing to experience other than the experiencer himself. The knower himself was available, other than that there was nothing available. Therefore, we cannot negate the deep sleep even in the waking. We may have a memory of not having any knowledge. The not having a knowledge is something which we cannot negate because we don't have anything to negate. The memory of that is what? It is the memory of that I knew nothing in the deep sleep. And when you knew nothing, what are you going to negate? We cannot negate anything. So what we are negating is what is being experienced and what is being felt as real while we are going through experience. That aspect of it is possible only for the waking and the dream. Because the waking and the dream are experiences which are dealt as real while experiencing, and there is an experience which is there which can be negated. How can we negate it? Vidya. avastutva darshana upapatti. By the right knowledge, when we do an analysis of the waking, we will know that like the snake was an avastu, a non-existent reality, but giving rise to an existing experience of fear. This world of experience of waking is giving rise to world of real experiences. But is the world of the waking real, satyam? It is not satyam. While we are experiencing, it may appear to be satyam. In the ultimate sense, it is not satyam because tad vyabhicharati. It goes. When I'm in dream, the world is not there for me, the waking world is not there. Nor it is available in my dream, deep sleep. So that which is only momentarily visible, experienced and giving rise to experiences is what is called avastu. Avastu means appearance, for better word. Because in Sanskrit word means it is non-material. What is non-material is appearance, non-matter or that which is not matter. So that is the only way in which we can say that is appearance giving rise to real experience. But while experiencing, the object may appear to be real. Like the snake appeared as real while the snake was being seen. Therefore, you could not negate the snake and we got the fear of the snake because for us the snake was real. The waking world is very, very, very similar to that. We are experiencing it as real and the experiences of that appearance of names and forms, which in itself is not real, is now being experienced as causes for our experiences. Why we say that the names and forms are not real? Because the names and forms keep changing. Whatever item you take in the whole world, you spread it over the period of time. There was a time when it was not what it was today, what it is today. And it won't be the same what it is going to be tomorrow. That means it is going through changes or modifications. And what goes through changes and modification cannot be defined as truth. Truth is that which will remain irrespective of time, space, and objectification. That is what is the absolute truth. Satyam. Yad na vyabhicharati. That which doesn't change. So, when it is said, anyasya cha avidya krutve vidya avastutva darshana upavati. Now, Acharya is giving the example of the cataract infected a person. Tadhi dvitiyasya chandrasya asatva. Dvitiyasya, one who doesn't have a cataract, for him, the second moon which is seen by the cataract person is unreal. It is not even experienced by him. It is better that even the snake and the rope, the one who knows it as rope doesn't even see the snake. Even the other person may be seeing it as snake. He doesn't see it as snake. Same way, the jnani doesn't see the world as not as the world, but as Atma, Bhava only. It is the same Brahman or Atman. Without the jnani, the knower of Brahman, knows it. The Brahma vidapnodi param. That person sees that it is all nothing but Brahman and nothing. That he may see the reality, Brahman, but he doesn't see the name and form and the objectification separate from Brahman. Whereas the Ajnani, the one who is not having the knowledge about the Brahman or not realize the truth in himself, for him, the world is real. He doesn't see Brahman because he doesn't know himself as Brahman. So he is not able to know what Brahman is. Therefore, he is not able to see the Brahman or Atman in everything in the world. So for him, the world is real because he sees the world as what he is seeing in the names and forms. Therefore, yad ataimarikena chakshusamata na grihyate, naivam na grihyate iti chet na. Now here they said, the ataimarikena, yad ataimarikena chakshutmata na grihyate, chakshushmata. One who doesn't have the cataract, he doesn't see the second moon. Can it not be the same way? Naiva evam na grihyate iti chet. If that is the way in which the opponent is asking, if that is the way, it means the one who has no knowledge of Atman or Brahman or not realized it as his own reality, he doesn't see that. He doesn't see the reality as Atman or Brahman. So what is that? Na. Acharya says, no, he cannot see it. Sushupta samahidayoho agrahanat. Now he is giving here two examples which are not identical, but both the places the agrahanam is taking place. Agrahanam means non-apprehension or no experiences in whatsoever. It is better to use the word no experience. Grahanam means capture or experience. Agrahanam means no capture of experiences. Means lack of experience or absence of experience. The two things which he is talking about is sushuptaha and samahitaha. Let us discuss about the samahita first, or the one who is in deep samadhi. The one who is in absolute concentration, there he is not having the knowledge about the world or the world of experiences, including his own existence as body, mind, intellect. He is so concentrated on the thought of meditation, depending upon the level of meditation he is achieving. He is not having the otherness, anyatya bhava, other than what he is meditating upon. So there is a total agrahanam of everything which is otherwise available to him. But the problem is that he has one grahanam. That is on what he is meditating. And an example we is given in the Upanishad is that a blacksmith who is sharpening the tip of an arrow has to concentrate so much on sharpening the arrow that if he sharpens too much, it becomes thin and becomes, breakable. At the same time, if he doesn't sharpen it properly, it may not pierce into the target. So he has to be so much concentrating on the sharpening in such a way that his concentration was on the tip of the arrow and his act of sharpening. And that time, the emperor with his entourage, with the horse, cavalry, everything was passing in front of the blacksmith's shop. Because of his concentration for the act of sharpening and the work which he is doing, he was oblivion to the entourage of the king and the entourage going by. This happens to us also. If you are sitting in an airport or any place where we are waiting for a vehicle or transport, and we are reading a very interesting book, a thriller or a book which is keeping us on the edges. And we are so much engrossed in the story of that and the development, even the announcement of the flight or announcement of the bus or even a friend coming in front of you and calling your name. We do not hear it because we are oblivion to the world. Our concentration is so much that we forget everything and we are only grasping, experiencing that one thing. This is similar to the samahita or the one who is in meditation. Any example you can take where we have a concentration of that nature. But there all we have to understand that there is one act of absorption and absorption, absence for all other things other than that. But when we come to the deep sleep, we do not have even that one grasping of that. There is nothing other than ourselves. We are aware of ourselves as ourselves. We are in this, but there is nothing other than ourselves. Therefore there is no grahanam or no absorption of anything else. This is the state of deep sleep, where we come and say that I knew nothing. It is not that we knew nothing. We knew ourselves. Or we cannot say we knew ourselves, we became ourselves. Or there is no way we can know ourselves or being in ourselves. Whatever terminology we use, there is a agrahanam or the non-absorption of anything other than ourselves. This is what is called agrahanam. Sushuptehe agrahanam anyasakta vat iti chet. So the opponent is asking the same question again. Why I am repeating is that I am repeating last class again for the purpose so that, the clarity is because we cannot move further without clarity on this one. If this is clear, you don't have to study anything further. You can stop. That is the way in which Acharya Shankara has put this whole thing into picture. So when the opponent is asking, is it not the sushupti or the deep sleep similar to samadhi where there is one grahana? Agrahanam anyasaktavat iti chet. Anyasakta means attracted by something. He gets attracted by something in that absence of every pain and pleasure and relationship, including the ego and non-existence to the extent that we cannot even know the ego exists or mind, body, intellect exists or anything like that. If that is the case, is it not that the case? Acharya says, no, na. Sarva agrahanat. It is a total non-absorption. But the problem is that we cannot deny it like the waking. The waking we can deny it when we are in the meditation that we did not have the world of experiences, the world, and I did not know myself. I was in the state of meditation, maybe whatever may be the duration of time, which is when he comes back and tells that I was absolutely in that meditative mode and I knew nothing. I knew nothing, but I was in that state of meditative mood. That knowledge was there. But in the case of deep sleep, we cannot say that type of a statement. Therefore, we cannot negate that we did not have deep sleep. If we have to say that negation, we should say that, no, deep sleep was not there. While The experiences, grahanam, can be denied, or the absorptions of waking can be denied, the absorption of the dream can be denied. The non-absorption of the dream can be denied only if you say that I did not have, deep sleep cannot be denied only if you say that I did not have deep sleep. Because then it becomes an experience. But deep sleep is not an experience. Because we know nothing in that, nothing about it. What we call it as deep sleep is a story of the waker who is accounting for the time, but not the deep sleeper telling what his experience was. Whereas in the case of the waking, the waker tells about the experiences of the waker. The dreamer comes and says that this is what I dreamt. This was my experience of the dream. And that experiencer memory of the dreamer is what we are negating. We are not negating the dreamer existed or not. We are negating the experiences of the dreamer, saying they are not real. Same we can negate the waking also. But when we are in waking, we cannot negate waking. Just as we cannot negate dream when we are in dream. So, we have to understand one thing. Only when we say that we did not have deep sleep, we can negate the deep sleep. Otherwise, we cannot negate the deep sleep experience per se. Jagrat swapnayor anyasya grahana sattvam eva iti chet na avidya kritatvad jagrat swapnayo. Jagrat swapnayohor anyasya grahana sattvam. The existence of absorptions of waking and dream as otherness. Is it not like that? Is the question asked by the opponent. Is it not that it's a reality? Sattva means sat. Here he is asking, is there no reality in the absorption of the waker in the dream as otherness? No. It is not there. Acharya says that. It is not there. Why? Avidya kritatvat jagra swapnayo. Avidya kritatvat. That here the word avidya kritatvat is in two meanings. One, that avidya is inexplicability, because anirvachaniyatvam. What is avidya? If somebody is asking, what is ignorance? We will say not knowing is what is called ignorance. But we know what is knowing. But what is not knowing? That not knowing cannot be described. We can describe what is knowing or what is known or what is the process of knowing, etc. But what is the process of not knowing and what is the object of not knowing, we cannot describe. Therefore, it is called indescribable. So he says that avidya kritatva jagra swapnayo. The nature of waking and dream is indescribable. How did the waking and how did the dream happen? From what is the ingredients with which the waking and the dream is happening? It cannot be described. We can describe them if they were vastu, if they were material objects, which had reality in them, satyam. How will you explain what is the material with which the appearance of the snake appeared? The biology and the completeness of the description of the snake, which is appeared from the rope, what it is made of. If that question is being asked, We cannot say, because there was no real snake for which we can give that answer. Had there been a real snake, we can say it is a cobra or a viper or an anaconda or whatever may be there. All the descriptions can, but we can say it appeared like an anaconda or a cobra or a viper or whatever may be the name which you saw. But since it is not real, we cannot do any investigation into it. The investigations will be within the rules of that appearance. Understand it very clearly. The appearance of the snake and the analysis of the snake will have to be adhering to the rules of appearance of the snake. The waking also is being analyzed within the rules of the appearance of the waking by us. The moment it goes out of the rules of the waking cannot be analyzed. For example, if he goes into the string theory or the quantum area, the Newtonian philosophy or the science based on which we have our day-to-day relationship, the transactional world which is being done by the aeroplane going, the rocket flying, everything is with the Newtonian science. But the moment you go beyond that, from that appearance physics or science of it, when we go towards the string theory of the quantum theory, all the theories of the Newtonian science and everything will not be applicable there. Nor can we analyze with that here. So, the appearance of the snake has to be in the relation of the appearance, and then we can do the analysis of that. But there also, when we know that it is an appearance, the whole analysis falls like a pack of cards. Same way, the whole waking will fall as pack of cards, as names and forms and objectification given out of experience, out of Newtonian scientific experience. We call that as gravity, magnetism, electricity, everything within that rules. And it's all good as long as it is in the realm of that. But the moment we know that they are not absolute truth because they are undergoing change, and the changes are within the rules of the Newtonian science or the relationship of the transactional world, the rules of that only will be making us feel it real only when that is existing or that is being used. That means in that relative world or in the transactional world. But from the absolute point of view, where it should not change, the name should not change, the object should not change, the time should not change, the causation should not change, none of them should change, yet can we apply the reality, these things in the world? We cannot. The cause, when it is there, the effect which is being analyzed will have to be in relationship with the cause. The cause for the pot is mud. The lump of mud is the cause of the pot, or gold for the ornaments. We can do the analysis of the pot only when the mud is present in the pot as a pot. I say that I want to do the analysis of the pot without the mud. Can it be possible? Or can I do the analysis of the ornaments without the gold? Not possible. Same way, the imagination of the mind or the projection of the mind of the world of transaction as a dreamer or a waker and the respective world, the projection of the world is for the waker in the waking world. The dream world is for the dreamer. So, it is within the realm of the cause only when the waker is present, the waking world can be experienced, analyzed, and transactions can be done. The dreamer cannot come and to the waking and do the waking world analysis. Nor can the Atma or the Sushupti state can do any analysis of the waking world. Because the rules are set by the waker for the waking world. Everybody in the waking world is part of the waker's experience. Same way, everybody in the dream world is the experience of the dreamer. So without the cause, the effects cannot be analyzed. So now, in the scripture, we say that avidya kritatvad jagraswapnayo. It is the ignorance of is the reason why we are experiencing the jagraswapnam or the waking and the dream. Now, what is the ignorance we are talking about? The ignorance in the mind. When it became the waker, it has a mind of the waker, and that is in the mind where the ignorance is present. The ignorance of the dreamer is in the dreamer mind. Therefore, the dreamer mind projects the dream world and the dreamer experience. The rules are set by the mind of the dreamer as his experiences. Think very clearly. Don't have to hurry through. Even if we are taking 2 more classes, I don't mind. I am for taking everyone through it. The waker in the mind, when he creates that I am separate from the world of experiences of the waker, there is a mind which is now giving rise to himself and the experiencer to the world of experiences and the experiencing. The 3 put together, the experiencer, the experienced objects, and the experiencing, is due to the non-apprehension of the reality in the mind of the waker or the dreamer, as the case may be. That is why, when it is said, Yad anyagrahanam jagraswapneho tad avidyakritam vidya abhave abhavat. In the absence of the cause, vidya abhave, in the mind of the waker or the dreamer, that abhava is felt, is what is called avidya. Vidya abhava is vidya avidya. The absence of vidya or absence of the right knowledge. So the antidote for the absence of knowledge is only knowledge. As long as we don't have the knowledge, we do not become the jnani, or we are not convinced about the reality. We are under the clutches of this avidya or vidya abhava, the absence of the right knowledge. That is the knowledge, absence of the knowledge of the rope created, right, the snake. Same way, the absence of the knowledge about our own true nature as Atma is the reason why we are thinking we are human beings, we are having the mind, we are having the world of objects. Everything is from that. That is why when the Upanishad started, Brahmavid apnoti param, when it said that the one who knows about Brahman, he pervades the Sushupti, The dream, the waking. The deep sleep, dream and waking, he is able to pervade. What is Sarvam? For us, everything is included if we add the waking, dream and deep sleep. There is nothing outside that. So one who knows the Brahman or Brahmavid, one who has become the Brahmavid, he apnodi param means he is able to know the reality of the waking and know the reality of the dream. How? The Acharya says that Sushupte agrahanamapi avidya kritamiti chet na swabhavikatvat. Swabhava. That is the true nature of Brahman or Atman. In existence and awareness, we have two things. Asti, nasti. Something is there or something is not there. Other than that, there is no third option. This asti, nasti, it is there, it is not there, is experienced in the waking. And the dream, while dreaming is there, but dream becomes nasti, it is not there the moment the waker analyzes the dream. But how do we negate the asti and nasti, or the is and is not of the waking? That can be done only when we are knowing that is and is not is a creation based on my appearances. Think about it. Think. The world of appearances of the waker, when it is real, I say it, this is there, that is not there, including I am there as a waker, I am not there in my deep sleep. All those is and is not, am there, am not, are not, were not, in all the kalas. You can say will not. All those dualities of is and is not, or asti, nasti, is based on the imagination of the mind of the waker, where he thinks that is and is not are the realities of the names and forms. So what is called the swabhava, swabhavika, when Shankaracharya says that it is the swabhavika, it is the nature of existence to be persistently existing all the time. The existence per se never undergoes any change. But what we are changing is the existence experience through the names and forms. We call that as is and is not. But even when we say the is not, we cannot deny the isness of not in the is not. Think about it. When I am saying that pot is not there, I am already assuming the isness of the pot, which I am negating by saying the pot is not there by the isness of the pot. Had the isness of the pot not been there, I cannot even say the pot is not there. So what we are negating is the isness of the names and forms, but not the absolute, the isness of Brahman or Atman. So the swabhavikam or the swabhava of the Satyajnanam Anandam Brahma, to appear as the deep sleeper, waker and dreamer is only in existence. All the modifications which are experienced other than the isness is temporary or experiential only when that is projected by the mind as names and form and existence. This aspect of projection is due to ignorance. When the projection is not happening, that is natural or by swabhava. What a jnani, one who knows the reality, he, even though seeing the reality, is able to appreciate the appearance being seen by the ignorant, including calling himself as ajnani. So a jnani teaching a ajnani is not teaching a ajnani as a ajnani. The teacher is not teaching the student thinking the student is ignorant. The teacher is teaching the student knowing very well that he is in reality that very substance with which the teacher is also. Due to the misapprehension of the rope being seen the snake, the student, the misapprehension of the Atma or the Brahman as names and forms is now projecting the world as reality, and as long as he has that reality as his fundamental holding strength for his own experiences, he is not depending upon the absolute reality. He cannot negate his world of experiences of the transactional world. Dravyasya hi tattvam avikriya para anapekshatvad. Dravyasya hi, dravyasya here means sushupti, sushuptasya. Tattvam avikriya means agrahanam. Here, the reality of the deep sleeper is what? Agrahanam, non-apprehension. There is nothing to apprehend. How can he apprehend himself? He cannot apprehend himself. I am using a wrong word. I know that it is no other way I can explain that. The deep sleeper not knowing or knowing himself cannot be said, because he is all alone there. In the Chandogya Upanishads, it says that Sadi Sampadya na vidhu Sadi Sampadhyamahe. Sat, Sadi Sampatya means having one with, become one with the Sat. Na vidhu, we do not know. Sadi Sampadhyamahe, we have become one with the truth or the Sat. That is our state in our deep sleep. So here, dravyasya hi tattvam avikriya. Avikriya means agrahanam. So this agrahanam is the truth of the deep sleeper, because there is nothing to grasp other than himself. Why? Para anapekshatvad. There is non-dependency on otherness. Because of that very reason, he is not grasping anything, because he is all by himself in the deep sleep. Vikriya na tattvam para apekshatvad. Vikriya means grahanam. Na tattvam is not the reality. Where parapekshatvad, where you have the otherness. The grahanam happens where avidya is there. Indirectly, Acharya is saying that. Why? Nahi karakapeksham vastunaha tattvam. Karakapeksham. The causations like the subject, object, the what you call the substratum, from where it is coming, onto which it is going. All these things are karakapeksha. Karaka means like kartrutvam. Subject, object, these are the two main things. The subject and object are required for grahanam. That's because the subject will apprehend the object. Vastunaha tattva. For any object to be grasped, there has to be these karakams like subject, object, etc. And that indeed is the reason why the apprehension is taking place or grahanam is taking place. Sataha visheshaha karapekesha. But all that apeksha or the dependency for the karaka of the subject, object, everything, or the substratum or everything for that matter, sataha vishesha, they are all having an adjective that it, the word of existence or is. The subject is, the object is, therefore the subject is grasping the object which is present. So where you will find that there is the adjective called is being used, only an existent subject can grasp an existent object in an existent substratum. All those places you will find the adjective is the existence. Therefore, karaka apeksha, for the dependency for a subject, object, etc., the adjective of isness or existence is mandatory. Visheshascha vikriyaha. And what is being grasped is not the adjective part of it, but the adjective aspect of it. The isness cannot be grasped directly, but it is grasped through the object. The subject, when I am saying I am also knowing myself as existent being. That existence, I cannot grasp it because that is my nature. But the existence of experience of being existent, that adjectiveness is what I am grasping of my own existence. Jagra sapnayoho grahanam vishesha. This is exactly what is the grasping what is happening in the Jagra Swapna. In the dream and the waking, the reality is only the existence. Satyatyanam Anandam Brahma is the reality. But what we are experiencing is due to the projection of the mind in the names and forms which are adding adjectiveness by our sensory or mental imagination or all those things on a substratum which is unchanging. If you closely analyze, the names and forms have no independent existence if the substratum existence is not there. If the mud has not been there, the pot has no existence. If the gold has not been there, the ornaments have no existence. Same way, the entire world of objects, whether it is waking or dream, will not stand independently without the cause, which is the Atman, which is that, what is it? Tat Trishtva Tadevanu Pravishyat. That is the reason why we are all having the experiences. Now, this knowledge that we are not what we are, but we are the Atma or Brahman, and everything is nothing but Atman or Brahman, is what the jnani is experiencing, and an ajnani, or a one who doesn't know this reality, he is in the clutch of avidya. Now the avidya is called Maya by the Advaitins. The same avidya is called the Shakti of the Ishvara, or Brahman, or Maya of Brahman. Whether you are a materialist who says that it is the nature, or whether you are a devout theologist who says it's all the mercy of God or the power of God, or is the omnipotency of God, or if you are an Advaitin and you say that it is the Maya of Brahman, the fact is that the otherness comes from this Maya, avidya, or the power or the nature. But they are all depend upon one and only one fact, which is nothing but Brahman or Atman, which you call it as Ishvara or a God in the theology, or you call it as the substratum of the nature in which the ever-changing nature is being experienced. That itself is the fact. So, but nobody can, neither the materialist can know what is that substratum nature or the fundamental nature, nor the theologist can find what is God or Ishvara. Nor will the Advaitin will ever say what is Brahman or Atman. He can only say that Aham Brahmasmi. Because he, once who knows that, he can say that everything is nothing but that, therefore I have to be that. That I-ness is not seen as separate by a Advaitin, whereas a theologist or a Dvaitin will see that Ishvara is separate and the Jiva is separate. The materialist will see the nature as separate and he as separate. The seeing of the separateness is the reason why we are never happy, we are never free, or we are never fearless in our world. If you want freedom, fearlessness, idara mandaram gurude atatasya bhayam bhavati. So if you want to an avaya pradishta or established in the fearless freedom, you should know the reality which is Atman or Brahman. Okay, I'll stop it here and we'll continue the coming portions with a small recap on the next Wednesday, because by next Wednesday, most of us will forget what has been told in this Wednesday and Friday. Keeping that in mind, next Wednesday, I'll do a small recap and continue from here. Because if I go this slow and repeat again and again for the purpose of everybody to understand, it is one way good, but at the same time, there are many things we should know before this becomes a conviction to all of us. So it is mandatory that I move slightly forward. So we will see this Upanishad again in the Wednesday's class. We will have a Sunday Q&A in between. So see you all then. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you. Dhanyawada.
Thank you. Thank you, Bindaji, very, very much. The way that you're doing this gives everyone a lot of opportunity, hopefully, to reflect on exactly what's being covered. The hand raising and the chat are open. And if people have been reflecting and would like to discuss with Binduji, please raise your hand and come up. I'm still reflecting. That was a really, I think it was really beneficial detail on going over and over and over how to take the perspectives of waker, dreamer, and deep sleeper. And hopefully we're able to hear those words in a way that is flexible enough that it's having meaning for us. So Venkat's going to come up. And again, anybody else at any level, if you have a sincere inquiry that you'd like to pursue with Binduji, please come up. Hariom Venkat.
Hariom Binduji, Hariom Prasad.
Hariom.
Under weather, maybe my voice may not be the best. Binduji, this was a class that need to be potentially listened to again. Pretty deep. Just few questions to help clarify, some words. That Sushupta Samahita Yo Grahana. This Sushupta Samahita is same as Samadhi. So what is why the word Sushupta Samahita Yo?
Sushuptan and Samahitan means Samadhistan. One who is in Samadhi, state of Samadhi.
Okay.
In both the places, there is Agrahanam of the whole world.
Okay.
But the difference is, in the Samadhi, there is one Ekagra Grahanam. There is one Grahanam which is happening in the case of Samadhi, but rest, the whole world is oblivion to him. Whereas in the case of Sushuptaha, the one who is in deep sleep, he has not even that one Grahana other than himself. But if you want to call that, he is knowing himself, that can be said as one Grahana like the Samadhista. But that is not accepted because there is total Agrahana, Sarva Agrahana is what Acharya said that in the earlier state. So therefore there is not even one Agrahana like the, Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Depend upon which Samadhi level you have gone. The ultimate Samadhi is where there is total oblivion about the whole thing, including his own existence. But he is aware that he is in Samadhi. That state is there. Whereas in the state of deep sleep, while in deep sleep, we are not aware that we are in deep sleep. That is the difference between the two.
God, Binduji. The Samadhi is that there is a mind that has taken the shape of whatever attempted to be. Hence, there is a conscious sleep, you can call it that way. This Sarva Grahanat is the right way to now put Sushupti. Sushupti equal to Sarva Grahana. That's a correct closure on this?
Yes, Sushupti is Sarva Grahana.
Okay. Then it brings certain clarity to be brought in that. Anirvachaniya for Agrahanamapi Avidya Krutam iti chet. The Sushupte Agrahanamapi Avidya Krutam iti chet. This, now they use the word Avidya Krutam as Anirvachaniyam. Avidya, there is no other way to describe, because you don't know how it happened, how the ignorance has come. Now, what is any reason to relate avidya to Sushupti? What is the reason to even connect avidya to that of Sushupta? What is the reason, Binduji?
See, the reason is, there are two schools in Advaita itself. Some say there is avidya in the deep sleep. Some say there is no avidya in the deep sleep. Sureshwaracharya and that followers of that says there is no avidya in the sleep. Whereas Madhusudana Saraswati and the followers say there is avidya in the deep sleep. The question which Sureshwaracharya asks is that, Swaprakashe kuto avidya. How can their knowledge and ignorance stay together? because our Swarupa is Chinmaya, is Jnanamaya, or knowledge is our nature. And in knowledge, how can there be ignorance? Or knowledge, ignorance of knowledge is what the others talk about. That is why when a mosquito goes to sleep, it comes back, wakes up as mosquito. A lion goes to sleep, wakes up as lion. Elephant goes to sleep, wakes up as a lion. Wakes up as an elephant. A Ajnani goes to sleep, he wakes up as Ajnani. Whereas a Jnani goes to sleep, he wakes up as a Jnani. So, if avidya is there, the Jnani should have become avidyagrasta again. He's caught into the avidya in the deep sleep. He cannot wake up as Jnani again. That is the logic which Sureshwaracharya and the followers are taking. But others are taking that avidya is the reason why the projections are happening as waker and dreamer. That has to be there in the deep sleep. Then only from the deep sleep, when the waking and the dream comes, the projections can happen. That is the school. But avidya kalpitam is happening where? That is Sureshwaracharya's question. Shankaracharya doesn't deal with that aspect of it. It's the subsequent students who took up that. Where does the avidya happen? Avidya happens in the waking and the dream. So where it happens, the avidya has to be there. Avidya is not happening in the deep sleep because there is nothing agrahanam. It is total sarvagrahanam. So grahana bhavam is not avidya. So grahana bhavam, anyada grahanam is like the adhyaropa and etc. happening is in the case of waking and the dream. The superimposition that I am the body, I am Annamaya, Manomaya, or I am the dreamer. This superimposition is happening in the case of dreamer and the waker. But in the deep sleep, there is nothing like that. And that is, to support that is the Chandogya word, Sadisambadhya na viduhu sadisambadhyamahe. Having become one with the truth, we do not know we have become one with the truth because there is no faculty to know. But we are the truth. Therefore, the absence of the faculty with the knowledge, the person knows in the waking that he is truth. The faculty with the knowledge, he is unperturbed by the happenings of the waking and the dream because he knows what is the truth. The one who doesn't know the truth, in the waking, for him the world is real. That is the way in which it has to be.
Correct, Banduji. I think that clarifies a lot. I think the whole idea was that swabhavikatvat, that means natural, one's own natural state is not affected by any of this. The sushupta and swabhavikatvat is now equated here, right, Banduji?
Yes.
In that case, dravyasya hi tattvam avikriya. That means that dravya is, now sushupti, I don't know why they use dravya, I think you equated with sushupti. The dravya is that which is, its own nature itself is simply, not get involved.
No, the matter in the sushupti.
Matter in sushupti, okay.
Whatever matter is there in the sushupti, that the reality of that, tattvam of that, is avikriya, means agrahanam.
Okay. Then what is the matter in waking and dream?
That is projection.
What is the matter?
That is the projection of the mind. If it is an Ajnani, he thinks the world is real. Namarupa is the reality. If he is a Jnani, he knows that it is nothing but the same tattvam of the deep sleep. Because neha nanasti kinchana, there is nothing other than that.
Then it brings a new dimension, right? What propels projection versus what propels deep sleep?
Right. What propels question is arising from the point of the waker. because the waker doesn't see the deep sleep state which is available in the waking. The truth of the tattvam, the dravyam of the deep sleep, or the matter with which we are in the deep sleep, is the substratum for our waking and the dream, and there the names and forms spring as appearances. And when the names are appearing as the names and forms, we do not know the deep sleep state is present even in the waking. There is never a time when I am not there. I am the deep sleeper, which is the deep sleeper. I amness, or the what you call the Chaturtham Manyante. I wanted to explain this in the next Wednesday's class, but since you have asked that thing, I'll explain it. The fourth one is Chaturtham Manyante. It is not the fourth one as separate. But that is the same one which is there in the deep sleep and in the dreamer as Turiya. And Turiyasya Swabhavaha is the reason why the waking and dream is being felt in the dream, in the deep sleeper or in the Turiya. The Turiya itself becomes the deep sleeper, the waker, and the dreamer. That projections, when it is happening, if one doesn't know the reality, then he will become the waker separate, not knowing the reality. But if he knows the reality, he will be knowing the reality of the waking, but he will not be touched by the waking, the names and forms of the reality. He knows that everything is one and the same. He will see that, Sarvatma Bhava, that what is the result which we should be able to transact in the world.
Sure, Banerjee. I think you use this word, I just made a note. Isness of not in is not. All time, all states. That absence pointed by that isness, because we keep either negating or accepting in waking, or negating or understanding in dream, versus in deep sleep we are I know nothing. That isness is common in all. That points already. Thank you, Banerjee. I think we'll wait for that class when you take us through. I'll just put one question. That avidya equal to, I think since you talked about Maya, now I need to bring it up. Okay. That you equated that avidya to that of Maya Shakti. Now, what do we equate vidya to? Should we equate vidya to gnanam, or what else?
Vidya is Swarupa.
Swarupa Gnana.
Swarupa Jnana. There is nothing called Jnana there. If you say Swarupa Jnana, then they are having Swarupa and Jnana separate. The Swarupam itself is Jnana. The very matter is consciousness, awareness, knowledge, whatever name you want to use it. You don't call it as separate. The knowledge of consciousness. You can't use that word. Knowledge of consciousness. You cannot. Right?
Correct, Banerjee. I'm just trying to put either Satyam, Gnanam, Anantam, Gnanam is Vidya equal to Gnanam? I'm just asking.
No, don't take it. Vidya is Swarupa. That is the Swabhavika. The Swabhava or Swarupa is that one which is Vidya. See, the word in many ways it can be used. The word Swabhava has got very two opposing meaning also. The Swabhava can be also called as Avidya when it is projecting in the waking of it. Why are we experiencing the world? Because that is our Swabhava, to project and experience the world. And why is we are doing it? It is due to Avidya. So the Swabhava becomes Avidya there. But the Swabhava, in the absolute sense, in the Sushupti, is Swarupa, which is Satya Jnanam Anandam. You cannot independently say that it is Jnanam alone. It is Satyam, Jnanam and Anandam or Anandam all together. It has to define all the three in the same substance. Then it becomes Brahman or Atman.
Sure, Binduji. This is very nice, Binduji. Thanks for all the patience in putting up with my questions. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Venkat. Thank you, Ganesh.
Namaste, Binduji.
Namaste.
I'm sorry I could not be, I was not able to attend the classes for the past 25 days due to unavoidable circumstances at home. I was on a long vacation.
Oh, sorry.
But I was, no, not sad thing, but I was very busy.
Okay.
But I could, somehow, I had the glimpses of the last lectures. And thankfully, I stumbled upon a book which I was going through in my free time, and Vedanta, An Art of Dying. So there, whatever today you are discussing all through, it had been mentioned there, and I was going through, and I was really blessed to have your lecture today on the same lines. And I thought nothing much I missed in those. Again, I have to go through all the replays, and I'll just have a better understanding of this. But my only question today about today's thing is there any possibility or any kind of that concept that the deep sleep consciousness is available to the waking state? The wakeful deep sleep, is it possible?
Are you there in waking?
It's very confusing, I'm telling you. It's very, very confusing.
You could not deny that you were in deep sleep.
Yes.
And what was there in deep sleep other than you?
So ultimately, the whole thing is an experience of the wholeness. All these three states, the bifurcations, all those things will merge into one. And is it that Turiya?
Sa ekaha. That is one. He is one. There is only one. Ekameva advitiyam Brahma.
Thank you, Binduji.
How can you be there, I be there separate?
Yeah. It is almost touching the borders of that Sarvatma Bhava time and again, when these three analysis of the deep sleep, waker and dreamer, ultimately, as you said, Sa Ekaha would be the final thing,
Yes.
bottom line of everything. It's wonderful. Thank you, Binduji.
Thank you, Ganesh.
So we still have some time, definitely. If anyone would like to come up and discuss any of what happened today or earlier in this Upanishad, you're very welcome to raise your hand and come up.
Namaste, Revati.
Namaste, Binduji. Hare Om, Binduji. The key sentences today, I felt that Binduji, the Sato Visheshaha Karakapekshaha. So when I become the pot, then only I accept the adjectives Karakas.
Yes.
So if I accept both in pot and in mud, I am, then the Karaka can be understood very easily, no, Bindaji. And easy to avoid also.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bindaji. Thank you.
Karakapesha. Parapeksha, para anapeksha. You
Yes,
have that Parattum, Anyatvam If you have anyatvam or paratvam, that is otherness, then you have the subject, object, and all the, seven, these things. You can be, instrumental or
Yes. Karana
adject, all
Karana.
the, sampradana, upadana, all those things will come only when you have otherness. When you don't have otherness, the karakapeksha nasti. There is no karakapeksha, or there is no subject, object, etc.
Yes, and that is the Jagrat Swapna. Beautiful explanation, Mindaji.
Thank you.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you for coming up, Ravati.
Thank you, Atmashya.
Anyone else? Oh, yes. Thank you very much. I was happy you came up. It just shows that anytime somebody comes up and puts their thoughts out in the open, it really benefits us. Just like Bindaji teaching really benefits us rather than him not sharing that with us. So are there any other desires for discussion? I did appreciate that question you had, Venkat, which comes up a lot about whether there is or is not ignorance in deep sleep. And it does strike me that the argument that there is kind of leaves us a lot more empty-handed than the direction that Bindaji goes. And it matches up with my experience. Okay. Again, I just didn't want to hurry too fast to close the room. But let me just check the chat. Oh, I'll mention something about the chat. Fairly near the beginning of the chat, down about 5 of them, you'll see that I put something in a Dropbox. You can pull up the PDF without having the app or anything else. You can just do it on your browser on your phone. And that is English translation of a couple of the Upanishads with Shankara's commentary in English. So it gives an opportunity for students like us to read the aspects of Shankara's commentary simply in its translation before we come in and hear Bindaji speaking about these things really in more depth. To me, like a commentary on the commentary. And chapter 2 of the Taittareeya starts on page 301 of not the PDF page numbering, but the page numbering in on the pages of the book itself. And we're right near the end of, chapter 2. And the reason that this was put into the chat during chapter 2 is just because we're spending a lot of time, and the commentary has so much fundamental information about Advaita. So during chapter 2, we're sharing that. And I think that's what I've got. Let me check the chat one more time. Yep. Okay. Just so that people know and don't be concerned, Prakash is still traveling, and we knew he wouldn't be able to be here today. He should be back within a week or two to his home where he can attend regularly. And Prasad has asked just that he will speak up when he feels the need rather than me pointing him out. So we'll count on that. So Bindaji, would you like to just close us out, and we'll just hope to see everybody on Sunday at the open Q&A if you want at this time. It's 8:30 p.m. IST, 11 a.m. on Eastern Time. And thank you so much, Bindaji. I don't know that any of us would really have the chance to have this amount of depth if you weren't doing this with us.
Binduji, I think Breck wanted, I've written the spelling down for him. I think he just wanted the right understanding of Saha Ekaha. If you could just break that up, Saha and Ekaha, and just tell him.
Okay. Saha is a pronoun used in Sanskrit is to indicate he. Ekaha means is a number, numerical 1. So, he is 1. So, in Sanskrit, Sa Ekaha means he is 1. Means the word Sa, that means that the one who is in the deep sleep, or the one who is realized the reality or the truth, for him, he is only one, which is the reality, and whatever appearances which he was experiencing earlier has now no validity, no reality for that. He sees himself in everything and everything as himself. So there is only one. That is why it is Advaita. Advaita means there is no second. The absence of a second one is what is called Advaita. So it is indirectly indicating to Advaita also. Sa Ekaha means he is one.
Thank you, Binduji. Brett, I hope you've got that clear. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
for saying
Artemisha.
that. Yes,
Can I
and I
go
just
ahead?
want almost
Yeah, go
just
ahead.
one moment.
Go ahead.
It's because it flashed across my screen a back channel. Just one moment. Ahini just left. Kailash was just thanking for the way that the rooms are run and appreciating our rooms. So I just wanted to thank that person, but they just departed. So yeah, go ahead and close this out, Bindo.
Thank you, Artemisha. Thank you, Prasad, Venkat, Ganesh, and Revati for the questions. And thank you, all of you. We'll continue the Upanishad in next Wednesday, but we'll have an open discussion in the coming Sunday where you can ask other questions also. And let us hopefully, I don't know when I'll complete the second chapter, 8th section. 8th and 9th is not much long, but it's very important. So these two, we should be able to complete it before going and closing the Taittareeya Upanishad. So hoping to see you all Sunday and next Wednesday. Hari Om. Namaste. Good night.